the one thing that I consistently find myself doing is I kind of trick myself into pretending like I was being productive and getting my things done. So I'm really good at reframing the stuff I actually did when I reflect on my day to feel like, oh, look at all the stuff I did. And I never made any progress on the most important things. And so trying to remember, like, hey, did I actually just make a decision that's moving the needle on anything that's important or impactful to my business, my life, my family?
Hi, everyone. This is Erica Lucas, founder of Vest, and your host for today's episode. Have you ever ended a workday exhausted, but wondering what you actually accomplished that day? You're not alone. Many of us build workflows designed to keep up with demands, but not necessarily to support our own needs. This has been the topic of conversation for Vest members this month. And today, we want to bring this conversation over to you. In this episode, we're going to explore why evaluating your workflow matters, what common obstacles get in the way, and how you can design a workflow that works best for you. If you enjoy the episode, share it with a friend and don't forget to leave us a review. And if you'd like to do more than just listen, consider becoming a Vest member and join the conversation. Learn more about our membership and the benefits of our community at www.vesther.co. Part 1. Why evaluating your workflow matters. Most of us operate on autopilot. We respond to emails, we attend meetings, mostly because we have to, not because we want to. We jump from task to task, but we rarely stop to ask, is this workflow actually working for me? In our Vest session, Vest members use a time audit worksheet where they could track how they were spending their day, hour by hour. We also ask about their energy levels during each activity, whether that activity was an obligation, a reactive effort, or an intentional output. And we ask them to list any emotion or feeling surrounding this activity. And what they discovered was surprising patterns. Here are some of the things they shared.
A lot of mine is obligated, and I'd like it not to be. I like to have a lot more intentional time built in.
I was struggling because it was like every 5 minutes I was shifting to something else, which is probably a telling sign also. Like I couldn't even put what I did for the hour. It was like this 5 minutes and then this 5 minutes.
For me, I think it's definitely being reactive. So especially like Monday mornings when I go through emails and now I have to put out a million fires. But then I also have blocked time frames for like all of the things that I actually have to get done, and it takes me a lot longer than the allotted time frame.
When you track your time and energy, even if it's just for a few days, you'll uncover things you'll never otherwise notice, like when your energy and focus peaks or what drains you the most. Don't forget to check out the show notes for this episode, where you'll find the time tracking evaluation worksheet to help you try this exercise yourself. We also encourage you to do this quick exercise. Pause for a moment and think about yesterday. What time of the day did you feel the most clear and focused? What time of the day did you feel the most drained? Just naming these two windows will give you a clue as to where your workflow may be helping you or hurting you. Part 2. What gets in the way?
Meetings that I really, can't really get away from. I have picking up kids. No one else is going to do that but me and my husband. So
What I've noticed is, for example, right now, I received a text message from a client saying, I can't open this and edit it. So I quickly go in and do it because I don't want that thing on my list of to-dos and then I might forget, especially when I'm doing something else. And so it's kind of like those immediate things. I want to give great customer service, but at the same time, how do I move the needle?
The number one blocker we heard from Vest members was a false sense of urgency. Those client interruptions or self-imposed fires that often trick us into feeling productive when we're really just busy. Other barriers also included living in our own inbox instead of our priorities, obligations that aren't really aligned with our goals, and the guilt around saying no. Here's another exercise we want you to consider. Think of one thing that consistently throws your day off. Is it email, Slack, perhaps a client who always needs something urgent? Write it down. That is your biggest workflow blocker. Part 3. How to design a better workflow. A good workflow isn't about rigid control. Instead, it's about clarity and getting to know yourself a little bit better. Once you try the time tracking tool and see what's really getting in the way of your goals, things will start to click. That clarity will give you the space you need to pause and ask yourself, okay, what matters to me the most right now? Here are some practical strategies you can try once you get to this point. Time blocking. Schedule focus, administrative, creative, and resting blocks in your calendar. Priority buckets. A simple to-do list is not enough. Sort tasks into 3 different buckets: must do today, can't wait, can let go, or delegate. You can also create your own system. For example, some of our VEST members who run businesses categorize their activity by impact, especially activities which directly generate revenue. This way, they're able to prioritize activity that drives results. Non-negotiables. Protect whatever brings you joy and energy.
One thing for our group that came up with defining your personal non-negotiables is that we all have things that we love that ground us, but we don't make them a priority, and we just we can't. We have to make those things a priority because that's what gives us joy and brings us life and refuels us. So we all kind of talked about those little things that we're missing.
Whatever that precious moment is, whether it's kid pickup, bath time, or honestly with me with the young adults is like, it's right before I go to bed, I get to go give them a kiss and then they ignore me after that. So those are the non-negotiables.
When I'm thinking about how to be intentional, I want it to be that creative side, like how, because that's where I find those were my high points when I felt purposeful, when it was me pouring into me, but also being able to grow in those things. So I want more of that so that I can be more, not reactive, but more intentional about how I show up, maybe even to the meetings. Like,
We're so used to prioritizing work and meeting the needs of others, like our bosses, clients, and investors, that we often forget to prioritize ourselves. Protect things like family dinner, weekends, meditation, exercise, and quiet time for yourself. Part 4. How to reset when you fall off. No matter how well you design your workflow, life will happen. Staffing changes will happen. Low energy days will happen, family emergencies, and so on.
So I realized this past week it came time of the month and I had zero motivation. It must have been hormonal. And I just I had so many meetings that I had already agreed to. I had set them in a good mood. And then now I have to be there in person when I'm just feeling like crying the whole day and just not wanting to be there. How do you guys handle just, you know, being that day? How do you just push through when you just have all of these responsibilities and you're not feeling well?
This VEST member was sharing how she overcommitted at a time when her energy levels were up. She then had a bad day where she wasn't feeling 100% and had to deal with all of those commitments. Give yourself the permission to reset. And sometimes resetting could mean you reset and reschedule meetings you had already committed to. Unless you're a doctor or a surgeon or a lawyer or another essential profession, it is very unlikely that somebody will die from you rescheduling a meeting or asking for time off. Don't push yourself to exhaustion. It's better to take a break and rest than to try to push through when your energy levels are low. It is unlikely that you'll close a deal or an investor when your energy levels are low and you're just not feeling it. If you don't feel 100%, it's okay to ask for time to reset.
I guess for me, what comes to mind is when change comes, like we just had an overwhelming change with staffing and just things that required a lot of me, and I have noticed that I took my priority away from my physical health, whereas I had a regimen every week. It's just not been that for the last month. And I guess the cue, I mean, you really hit the nail on the head when you said that you're noticing that you're missing certain things that were in your regimen that can be a cue to me because I'm finding myself kind of like, okay, I don't know where to land my feet right now. And that can feel quite uncomfortable because there's still tasks that have to be done. So this is really great this morning. I want to say thank you first and foremost for that. But to take the time and block out and really, when I guess what I'm taking away from this is when you see those things, then you need to step back and take time to black out and say, okay, these are the things that are not, that can't move. And so how do you move this around? And in our breakout group, and I'll be quick. One thing I said is I took a day and said, okay, this is a day. Nobody touch it. Don't nobody call me anything, so that I can do this admin. But Angela brought up a point. She was like, you get a whole day. And I told her, well, I'm trying it. I don't know if it's going to work. And so but that cut the light bulb on for me because I was like, well, maybe because I'll go one extreme, like I need a whole day, but maybe I don't. Maybe I can just divvy it out between the week. So this group is becoming very valuable to me with knowledge, and so that's my answer with that.
Remember that we're not striving for perfection. Rather, we're giving ourselves permission to hit the reset button. Here are other reset strategies from our VEST group. Block 20 minutes of CEO time to decide what to focus on next. Ask yourself, who or what do I need to say no to right now in order to protect my time? The next time your day goes sideways, maybe a meeting ran long or you just lost your steam, instead of powering through, pause for 5 minutes and ask yourself, what is the single most important thing I can still do today? And let that be your reset point. In closing, your workflow should work for you, not the other way around. By auditing your time, identifying your blockers, designing around your non-negotiables, and practicing the reset, you can create a system that works both for productivity and well-being. So here's your challenge for this week. Protect one non-negotiable in your calendar and let go of one false urgency that doesn't deserve your energy this week. For inspiration, here are some examples of what our VEST members are letting go and protecting after this session.
I shared this in our breakout group, but the one thing that I'm going to get rid of this week, well, not fully, I'm going to certainly try to tamper down on is my screen time on my phone. I find myself spending hours scrolling instead of doing the things that I need to do. And ironically, I'm not on any social media. It's literally just like Pinterest and LinkedIn. That's it. So I'm really going to do my best to cut my screen time in half because it's that bad. So that's my goal for this week.
I have been in a bad habit of coming to the office even when I know I would be better at home because I feel like the optics of everybody seeing me are important. And I don't even work in a culture where that is important. So I could absolutely be working from home and rotating laundry and throwing the dishwasher or the dishes in the dishwasher and be more productive and not have so many things I feel like I have to do at the end of the day. So I'm going to give myself permission to take that and run with it.
I need to allow others to help me. And I live in a multi-generational household. Like my mother-in-law and my great aunt live with me, and my husband lives with me, and I have a 16-year-old. So a lot of it is control of my household. And so I need to give that control away so I don't have to feel a certain feel bad about not doing A, B, and C.
If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and don't forget to leave us a review. And if you're ready to take your career to the next level, consider joining our community of women professionals. Go to www.vesther.co to learn more.